Welcome to Cheat Sheet Tales, where secrets slip, lies unravel, and the truth always has a twist. Real stories, raw confessions, shocking betrayals. Drop a comment if you've ever caught a red flag too late. Now, let's get into today's tale. I let my wife's cousin borrow my old car to help him get back on his feet. Weeks later, I got a court summons. He'd used it in a crime. When I asked my wife why she didn't tell me, she said, "You overreact. He needed a chance." I looked at the documents, then at her. That night, I sat in the driveway and dialed a number I'd sworn never to call. I'm a regular guy. I live outside Akron, Ohio, in a quiet little house I inherited from my dad. I work full-time as an HVAC tech, own a used F-150, and I keep my head down. I don't cause problems, and I sure don't look for them. I fix air conditioners, come home, eat dinner with my wife, have a beer, and call it a night. That's it. My wife Laura works part-time at a dentist's office. We've been married 12 years. We don't have kids. Tried for a while, but it didn't happen. Things between us have been steady. I wouldn't say we're passionate or anything, but we've had a peaceful life. At least until about 3 months ago. That's when her cousin Corey came to stay with us. I never liked Corey. I tolerated him because Laura cared about him, but the guy has always been a screw-up. He's in his 30s, never held down a job for more than a few months, did a little jail time in his 20s, and always seems to have drama surrounding him. You know the type. Always someone else's fault. Always the victim. So when he showed up at our front door with a trash bag full of clothes and a busted lip, I didn't even ask. I knew. Some fight, some problem, some excuse. He looked like hell. Laura let him in without even looking at me. I pulled her aside later and told her he's not staying here long. A few nights, tops. She gave me that look, the one she saves for when she thinks I'm being too harsh. He has no one else, Ethan. Just until he figures things out. I should have said no. I should have stuck to it, but I didn't. And that's on me. At first it was just a few days, then it was 2 weeks. He slept on the couch, left dirty dishes everywhere, and took over the TV like it was his place. I tried to keep my mouth shut for Laura's sake, but the guy grated on me. One night, he asked if I could give him a ride to the west side of town for a job interview. I couldn't. I had a full day of work. That's when I thought of the old Taurus. I had a 2004 Ford Taurus that used to be my main car. I kept it for emergencies or backup. It still ran, needed some work, but it could get from A to B. I hadn't driven it much since I bought my truck. "Take the Taurus," I said. "Just treat it right and don't leave Summit County. If I find out you went further, it's done." He lit up like a damn Christmas tree. "Thanks, man, I owe you." I didn't expect a thank you from him, but I sure as hell didn't expect what came next. Over the next few weeks, he used the car a lot more than I expected. Gone in the morning, back late at night. I asked Laura if she knew where he was going. She shrugged. "He's probably looking for jobs." I doubted it, but I was tired, and I didn't want to fight about it. Then one Tuesday morning, I opened the mailbox and saw an envelope from the county court. I figured it was a mistake. I hadn't done anything. I opened it. I sat there on the porch for a solid 5 minutes, just reading and rereading what was on that paper. It was a court summons. My name, my license plate number, my car charged in connection to a drug bust in a rough part of town. Not in Akron, but Youngstown, over an hour away. They tied my car to a scene where the driver fled after tossing something out the window and crashing into a trash bin behind a liquor store. The photos were in the packet. My Taurus, same Ohio plates. Even had the dent on the right side that happened when I scraped the mailbox a year back. I went cold. I left work early, came home. Laura was in the kitchen making tea like nothing happened. I put the papers down in front of her. "Did you know anything about this?" She looked down, didn't say a word for a second, then she sighed. "He told me, I didn't want to stress you out. You always overreact. He needed a chance." I just stared at her. "That's your response?" I asked. "He's out there using my car to run drugs and flee cops, and you just let it slide because I overreact?" He said he didn't mean to. "I don't give a damn what he meant to do. You put me at risk. My name's on that title, my insurance, my record. If they can't catch him, it lands on me." She crossed her arms. "It's not that simple. He didn't have anywhere else to go. He's family. That word family hit me hard, because I thought I was her family too. That night I couldn't sleep. I sat in the driveway staring at the Taurus like it might answer me. I pulled out my old burner phone. I hadn't used it in 10 years. It was from a time in my life Laura didn't know about, a time I'd left behind. I scrolled through the contacts and found one name, Marcus. He used to run a towing business, but that was just a front. Marcus knows people, the kind of people who can dig deep, find out where someone's hiding, and do it quietly. No cops. No questions. I hit call. He picked up on the second ring. His voice hadn't changed. Yet. It's Ethan. I need help. He didn't ask why. He just said, where? Marcus met me the next day at an old diner on Route 224. Same spot we used to go to back when things were different. Back when I did some side work for him that I never told Laura about. I walked in, saw him in the back booth, and sat down across from him. He looked older, gray beard, heavier, but same eyes, sharp and cold. He slid me a black notebook. Tell me everything. So I did. I told him about Corey, about the car, the charges, the court summons, Laura covering for him. I didn't hold anything back. Marcus listened without interrupting, just nodding. When I finished, he flipped open the notebook. You still got the VIN number on that Taurus? Yeah. Write it down. I did. He tore out the page, folded it, and stuck it in his pocket. You're lucky they didn't arrest you outright, he said. You get any letters from the insurance company yet? Not yet. You will. And when you do, they'll probably drop you. So let's fix this before it gets worse. I looked at him. You think you can find him? Marcus smirked. I already got a guy checking DMV and security cams in Youngstown. Drug busts like that, cops probably impounded something. They don't post everything online, but we can find what they missed. I nodded, still tense. Marcus leaned forward. What I need to know is this. When we find him, what do you want me to do? I paused. I want him scared, I said. I want him to feel everything I felt when I saw my name on those court papers. I want him to know he can't screw people over and just walk away. Marcus tapped the table. Done. 2 days later, Marcus called. Found him. He said he's staying with some girl in an apartment off Market Street in Youngstown. Goes by Jay now. She works night shifts, so he's there alone most mornings. Real low profile, no job, no paper trail. But he's driving the car every damn day. I gripped the phone. Tighter. You sure it's mine? Same plates, same dent. It's yours. I hung up and drove. There myself that night, parked a block away and waited. I saw him. He walked out like he didn't have a care in the world, smoking a cigarette, wearing my old jacket when I thought I'd lost years ago. He got into my car and peeled off like it was his. Something in me snapped, but I didn't follow him. Not yet. I went home and confronted. Lori saw him. He's in Youngstown, just like the summons said. Still driving my car, still using my name. She froze. He called last week. She said, finally. He said he was laying low, said he'd figure it out. You knew where he was? I asked. Stunned. She hesitated, then nodded. I didn't think it would help to tell you. I thought you'd do something stupid. I laughed, but it wasn't a real laugh. You don't think lying to your husband while his name's getting dragged into a felony is stupid. She started crying. He's blood. Ethan, he's the only family I have left. I just didn't want to lose him. I stared at her and me. I'm just what a name on a title. She didn't answer. I left the house and called Marcus. Change of plans. I told him, I want everything on Corey. Every dealer he's talked to, every address he's crashed at, every lie he's told, and I want you to let him know I'm coming. Marcus didn't even ask why. He just said, give me 48 hours. That night, I slept in my truck. The next morning, I found a voicemail on my phone. It was from a blocked number. It was Danny. Hey man, Laura told me you're mad. I didn't mean for this to blow up. I just needed a ride. You know, I'm working on getting things straight. You don't need to get all crazy. Let's talk. That was it? No apology. No taking responsibility. Just, I'm playing the victim again. But here's where things started to get worse. And fast 2 days later, I went to start my work truck and found the tires slashed. All four. My neighbor saw a guy in a hoodie hanging around the night before, but didn't get a platee. Knew it was Danny, he'd figured out I was coming for him, and now he was trying to scare me off. I called Marcus. You got someone watching my place? Yeah. He said we saw someone lurking around. We were going to let him walk, but now I'll tighten it up. Good, because I'm done waiting. I thought I had the upper hand. I thought Corey was scared on the run, throwing weak shots from the shadows. Weak shots from the shadows. But what I didn't know was how deep he was already in and how far Laura was willing to go to protect him. 2 days after the tires were slashed, I got another letter. This one was worse. It was from my insurance company. They were dropping me the letter. Said I had failed to disclose a recent criminal investigation involving vehicle misuse, and because of that, my coverage was canceled immediately. That meant I couldn't drive my work truck, couldn't make calls, couldn't do service visits. I had to start turning down jobs. In 1 week, I lost 4 regular clients. My boss started asking questions. I told him I had personal stuff going on. He said I had 2 weeks to get it together, or he'd need to replace me. I'd spent years building a good reputation. Corey destroyed it in a month. I called Laura. At work, told her to meet me at home that night. No excuses when she walked in. I didn't yell. I didn't threaten. I sat her down and put everything on the table. I'm losing clients. I'm losing my job. My name is tied to felony charges. My car is being used to move drugs, and you knew exactly where he was. She didn't look surprised, just tired. I didn't think it would go this far. She said, but it did. I said, and now you're either with me or with him. Pick. She looked down at her hands. I already helped him. She said, I sent him some money last week. I thought if he had a little, he'd disappear. I didn't think he'd keep dragging you into it. I froze. How much? 100, that's all? No, Laura. Not just the money. Did you send it under my name? She didn't answer. My stomach dropped. I stormed into the home office and tore open the desk drawer, found the checkbook, 4 checks missing. I went online and pulled up the bank account for checks cashed under my name, one for $500, one for $300, one for $200, and another for $800. Each one signed my car he'd never written. Theme. I turned the screen to her. You forged my signature. She tried to speak, but I was already out the door. I called Marcus while I was still in the driveway. It's worse. I told him she's helping him. She forged my checks, send him money in my name. Marcus was quiet for a long second. Then he said, I was hoping it wouldn't go there. What do you mean? We've been tracking his calls. Most of the ones he's made have gone to prepaid burners, but 2 numbers kept showing up. One of them was yours. The other wife's Telly clenched the phone so hard it shook. How long since the first week he took the car? That's when it hit me. She didn't just know he was in trouble. She knew from the beginning. She let it happen. I had to step away from everything for a minute. I drove out to a park on the edge of town where I used to take my dad when he was in hospice. I sat in the truck, hands on the wheel, staring at nothing. Then I got another call. Not from Marcus this time. From a block number. It was Corey. Again, you think you're tough, Ethan. He said, you think I don't know what you're doing. I got friends too. You start poking around, you're going to get more than flat tires. You threatening me now. You took your shot. Now it's my turn. Tell Marcus to back off and tell Laura to stop crying to me. She made her choice, so did Youth, and he hung up. That was the moment I knew something else had happened, something Laura hadn't told me. I drove home and found her on the couch, red-eyed and shaking. I just got off the phone with him, she said. He said if I don't wire him another 1,000, he'll send photos to your boss. What photos? She looked like she was going to throw up of me. She whispered, from back when he stayed here before you gave him the Corona night. I drank too much. I made a mistake. My world stopped spinning for a second. You slept with him. I asked. My voice wasn't even loud, just dead. It was one time. I didn't mean for it to happen. I told him it was a mistake. I stepped back like I'd been hit. I felt the blood in my ears, the kind of heat that doesn't go away. She stood up shaking. Ethan, I didn't know how to tell you I was scared. I turned and walked out. I called Marcusi. Want it all? I said, I don't care. What it takes, I want to take everything from him. I want him broken, you hear me? Marcus's voice was steady. We're already working on it, but you're not going to like what we find next. What do you mean? We pulled video from an ATM, the one used to cash your checks. He wasn't alone. I closed my eyes. Who was with him? Marcus's voice didn't waver. Your wife, she was driving that night. I didn't go home. I couldn't. I drove around Akron until I ended up at an old motel off the freeway, same place I used to stay. Years ago when I was doing side work for Marcus and didn't want Laura asking questions, I paid cash, took the key, and sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the wall. I wasn't just betrayed, I was used. By Corey, by Laura. Both of them played me right under my nose, in my own damn house. She didn't just lie, she helped him forge checks, drove him to the ATM, slept with him, and after all of that, she kept calling it a mistake. I didn't cry. I didn't yell. I just started planning. The next morning, I met Marcus at his garage. It was technically a towing and storage business, but we both knew it was more than that. He handed me a thick envelope. Inside were photos, bank, records, ATM camera stills, and screenshots of text messages between Laura and Corey. They weren't just talking about helping him out, they were laughing about me. One message from Laura read, "He's clueless, still thinks he's doing a good deed, LOL. Another one from Corey, "If he finds out, just cry. You know how he gets soft when you act sad." Marcus watched my face while I read it all. "You still want to handle this quiet?" he asked. "No," I said. "I want it loud." Here's what I did. First, I made copies of everything. Every message, every picture. I uploaded it all to a private folder and sent the link to my lawyer, my boss, and myself. Then I sent it to Laura's boss at the dental office and left a short note. "Your employee has been helping a wanted criminal forge checks and move drugs. These are the receipts. Good luck." Second, I filed a report with the sheriff's office. I told them everything. The forged checks, the stolen vehicle, the threats, the affair, the voice messages. I handed over every piece of proof. They didn't need much convincing. Corey already had a warrant out from the Youngstown bust. Now they had more. But I wasn't done. I waited until Laura left for work the next day, then went back home. I packed up everything I owned that mattered. My tools, some clothes, family photos from before I met her, and my dad's old watch. I loaded it all into my truck. Before I left, I opened her laptop and left one file open on the screen, a folder labeled I Know. Inside were all the photos, all the messages, the forged checks, everything. Then I left the house key on the counter. On my way out, I called our bank and froze the joint account. Then I called my lawyer and started divorce paperwork. But the real revenge came 2 days later. Marcus called me. "He's in the apartment. Cops are on the way." They raided the place and found him mid-deal. Not just weed or pills, fentanyl, enough to push the case from state to federal. They also found more stolen checks, some with other people's names. They brought him in, cuffed and screaming. The story hit the local news that night. Repeat offender caught with trafficking-level amounts of narcotics in Youngstown bust. Suspect also linked to identity theft and forged documents. Laura tried to call me. I didn't answer. She tried again, then she showed up at my boss's shop. That's when it got worse for her, because my boss had already seen everything I sent him, the proof ahead of time, so he'd know what was really going on. He stepped outside and told her flat out, "You helped a criminal destroy one of my best guys' livelihood. You should be in jail." She left crying. Later that day, I heard through Marcus that she was fired, not just for the scandal, but because someone tipped off the licensing board about her forging checks, and they started a formal investigation. I never spoke to her again after that. It took a few months for the divorce to go through. She tried to fight for the house, but I had proof of financial fraud, and the judge wasn't kind to her. I kept the house, the truck, and the clean record. She walked away with nothing. No job, no savings, no Corey. Speaking of Corey, he didn't just go to jail. He got 12 years. The feds picked up the case because of the amount and the forged checks crossing county lines. His priors didn't help him. He cried in court, said he was trying to turn his life around. No one believed him. Now I live alone. I got new tires on the truck, went back to work. My boss gave me time off to sort it all out, and when I came back, he had my name painted on one of the trucks. Said he wanted me to feel like I still belonged. I do HVAC work in the day and sleep in peace at night. No more lies, no more stolen cars, no more fake chances. Sometimes I drive past the old diner where I met Marcus, just to remind myself I could have let it go, could have stayed quiet, but that's not who I am anymore. I gave them a chance. They buried me, so I dug my way out and buried them.